1984 national champion quarterback for BYU, Blaine. Welcome back to the show, man.
Guys, so is a bumper sticker count as swag? Because I saw that Spencer tweeted out earlier this week he was behind a pickup truck and they had a huge pair of blue goggles.
Oh, yeah.
As a bumper sticker on the back of their tailgate, which I was impressed with. I want to get one of those. Is that considered swag, or do you have to wear it for it to be swag?
It's elite swag. That's what the bumper sticker is, Blaine.
Or you can just, bench press 300-plus pounds when you're in your 50s. That is also
with the blue goggles
swag.
Yeah, but you know what? When you get in your 50s, sometimes things happen to you that shouldn't. Like Sunday afternoon, the dog got out. I decided to chase her at full speed. I pulled my left hamstring. This is what how many times have I warned Spencer when he was getting ready to run his 40? Make sure you warm up. You're not as young as you used to be. You can't just go out there and sprint. You got to be ready to go. I don't want you to get hurt. All of that great advice I gave Spencer went right out of my head when the dog got out the door. And I went out there with no warm-up at 52 years old at a full sprint, and I pulled my left hammy.
It's a real struggle. Blaine Fowler breaking it down on BYU Sports Nation. Don't run after a dog in your 50s. Let's talk about a guy who does a lot of running, Blaine, and is swagadelic for sure, Taysom Hill. Listed as number 11 in the NFL.com's top 15 Heisman candidates with okay speed. They said he had okay speed. Your reaction to what the NFL.com said about Taysom Hill?
They obviously haven't timed him because he's got way more than okay speed, but they do recognize his talent, which is a good thing. And he belongs in that top 15. And I think if he didn't get hurt last season and was able to complete an entire season last year, he would be considered more than just top 15. He'd be one of the front runners going into this season for the Heisman Trophy. A very, very special athlete, but I don't think they have an understanding how fast he is. He is maybe the second fastest guy on the team at BYU, if not the first in a 40. Unbelievably explosive speed. Did they watch the Texas game? That's my question.
Right?
Did they watch the Texas game?
It was on FS1, so they missed it.
They probably missed it. But, you think about that. He was running away from defensive backs, just flat out leaving them in the dust, that are legit 4-4 guys. And I think he's a legit 4-4 guy. The difference is those DBs are 185, 190, and Taysom's 230-ish, right, or more. He's a ridiculously freakish athlete, and he's more than just okay speed. And you combine that with his strength, and he becomes literally the best athlete on the field every time he walks out on the field.
To me, I don't think a player from a non-P5 school has a legit shot at winning the Heisman Trophy. But getting to New York would be the thing, right? If Taysom Hill had a tremendous season, BYU won 10-plus games, he stayed healthy, had 4,500 yards of total offense or something crazy, 5,000, I don't know, like Jordan Lynch, Northern Illinois. Getting to New York would be like winning it essentially for a non-P5, in my opinion. What do you think, man?
I agree, and one of the problems he has sometimes is about timing. So this year is like the year of the quarterback. So he's going to be playing the quarterback position, and I think people will look at him and go, boy, he's the best dual threat quarterback in the country. But you think about Cody Kessler being back at SC, Boykin being back at TCU. You got Connor Cook back at Michigan State. Solomon's back at Arizona.
3 at Ohio State.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. Is it Barrett? Is it Jones? Does Braxton Miller transfer? Ohio State's got 3 NFL guys, but there's so many good quarterbacks this year that I think that dilutes how good he's going to be this year. I think he'll easily be recognized if he stays healthy all season as the best dual threat guy, and I would even include Boykin in that. But I think that Cody Kessler is going to get a lot of run in terms of Heisman, and I think that Boykin also is going to be a guy that they talk about from the beginning of the year. And I think that TCU is probably going to be a top 5 team again this year with him back. Maybe vie for a national championship, and that is heavily on the voters' minds when they're thinking about who they're going to vote for the Heisman.
Blaine Fowler with us on BYU Sports Nation. We haven't even touched on the senior subject of Taysom Hill's status, Blaine. And in the recent past, as Jeremy and I have just documented, things have been really good for BYU football when they have a senior signal caller. Well, Taysom Hill is now due up for his senior campaign. What's the biggest benefit of having Taysom at the helm for BYU as a senior?
People, it's pretty simple that you have somebody that has experience and knows what they're doing out there, and they're playing with confidence. And so that's thing number one, but there's just so much more to it than just that. Part of it is how much the coaches understand the skill set of that player by the time they're a senior. So Robert and I is at a huge advantage. He's had multiple years now where he's had him out there, and even though he's been hurt, to fashion this offense around his skill set. So now he's going to have an offense going into his senior year that is perfectly designed for him. He's going to be comfortable in that offense. He's going to have confidence. He's going to understand reading defenses. And he's also going to have a really, really good knowledge and understanding of the skill sets of the players he's distributing the football to. So he knows who to go to in the clutch. He knows who he can rely on. The guys understand their roles. So all of that comes into play. And then you also got a senior leader in the off season to make sure that they're out there and the guys are getting together and they're throwing the football and they're all on the same page and all of that. So all of those things combined usually are a recipe for BYU when they have a senior quarterback to have tremendous success on the field. And I think that all of those things maybe are equally weighted. Right after maybe thing number one is that there's just the experience and the confidence, but then everything else is 1A, 1B, 1C, because those things are all really important.
Tom Hummel, when he was on the show about 2.5 weeks ago, mentioned that he scheduled this schedule specifically knowing that there would be a senior Taysom Hill, senior Mitch Matthews, senior Jamal Williams, senior Bronson Kafusi, among others. How much do you think these guys are ready to meet this schedule as seniors versus, say, doing it in 2014 or 2013?
Good news is they've played some big games now. So all of these guys have been in some big-time venues where they've played big games on the road. So that's not going to faze them. They're not going to worry about going to Nebraska and opening up in a Memorial Stadium. That won't faze these guys, especially these seniors. They've played in venues that big. They've played in places with that kind of history. You enjoy going to a place like Nebraska if you haven't been. You step back just a little bit and think, wow, this is really cool. But it doesn't phase your performance at all. It actually just gets you jacked up to play. And, at UCLA, hey, been there, done that for these guys. Michigan, been there, done that. Not to Michigan, but they've played in stadiums like this. So they have the opportunity to enjoy the moment, but not be affected other than in a positive way by the places they're going to have to play on the road. And that's a huge advantage. And there's enough of a core of these guys, like you said, with the Mitch Matthews, with the Jamal Williams, with the Taysom Hill, that they're not going to be affected in any way by being on the road and playing at some of these programs that are historical programs over the full history of college football.
Blaine, yesterday we talked about BYU as a top 25 caliber football team heading into the 2015 campaign. Sports Illustrated released their post-spring power rankings, have BYU at number 23 ahead of the likes of LSU and Oklahoma State. So they're in there as a top 25 team right now. Do you feel that BYU deserves a top 25 ranking to begin the season?
I think that people that are putting them there, like right there on the fringe, so either in that 22 to 25 or 25 to 28 in their minds, they're basing it on the fact of what we've been talking about. Wait a minute, they got a great dynamic player, quarterback that's a senior coming back. They've got a lot of guys on offense. Their defense certainly has to be better than it was. So that's what they're basing it on, keeping the Taysom Hill healthy. So I don't think that's out of the question. I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm going, okay, if they can stay healthy, they can play their way into the top 15. That's going to be a key for them because depth is still an issue. But you look at UCLA, who's on the schedule this year, is it anywhere – I think when it all is said and done, they're going to come out, they're going to be somewhere around 10, give or take a spot or two in the preseason rankings. Michigan's not going to be ranked. I bet Boise State's going to be preseason ranked. I mean, they're back in the national mind again. I think Boise State's going to be somewhere between 15 and 20 when the season starts. Missouri is highly regarded this year. They're probably preseason going to be somewhere in that 18 to 23 range. So they're going to have opportunities to go out there and beat ranked teams this season, maybe 3 of them. And if that's the case, they have a chance to play their way right up into the top 15. But I don't think that 23 to 25 range is out of the question or crazy based on what they have coming back. I think that that's where they belong. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Blaine, great stuff. A man with okay speed for sure. not quite Taysom Hill okay speed, but still okay speed. And take care of that left hamstring, man.
Yeah, when I try to push it and run close to Taysom's speed, all that happens is I blow my hamstrings out.
Good to talk to you, Blaine.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.